Hi, welcome to the Improved Garage YouTube channel. If you haven't subscribed, please click the subscribe button. So today, I'm going to very briefly be talking about drying aids. So I've got a couple different drying aids here. I've used more than what is sitting here, and I realized that some of these are slashed. Like this is a drying aid, specifically drying aid. This is a paint protectant. This is a speed shine. This one is a sprayable carnauba wax. Optical select high gloss spray sealant. So there's a variety of different things here. This one says drying aid on it. So the Obsessed Garage drying aid was released, and I bought a bottle to try it out. It's not tremendously expensive. It's about the same price as Bead Maker, about the same price as most of these other products. So I went on the website when it was dropped. They announced it on the Facebook group, and all the gallons were sold out. So I picked up a 32 ouncer. I had it shipped to my house. I've since been able to order a gallon. I'm waiting for it to come in. Once it comes in, it'll ship. So I have to admit that I really, really like it. It works incredibly well. So previous to Obsessed Garage drying aid existing, I was using Bead Maker, and that was after having used this Chemical Guys ceramic detailer, Chemical Guys afterwash, Chemical Guys pre-40, Chemical Guys V07, Chemical Guys blazing banana. Like I tried a ton of them. Chemical Guys makes like 5 of them just in and of just them, just Chemical Guys. I have a Griot ceramic speed shine. You know, if you know or don't know, this does contain some ceramic, although they don't advertise it. And Bead Maker works really well. So I don't want to say that it doesn't. I really like the feeling of Bead Maker, the slickness of Bead Maker when you're rubbing your hand on it. It feels really good. I walk up to my car and I want to touch the paint because it feels so good getting into and out of the vehicle. It's really awesome. There are 2 downsides to Bead Maker. Downside number 1 is if you are applying it in the sun on a black vehicle, realistically any vehicle, but if you're applying it in the sun and it dries faster than you can remove it, then you end up with streaks, spotting. On a black vehicle, it's really hard to apply it in the sun and remove it because you have to remove it immediately or it streaks. Unlike our silver Mercedes, the SLC300, I can do that one outside without much of a big deal because it's gray, so it doesn't dry immediately. But on my black car, all I've done is just, when I finish washing the car, I pull it in while it's still wet in the garage, and I dry it off in the garage, and then I use the drying aid. It's fine. It works fine. I don't really have any issues. That is a workaround, but I don't have any issues. Number 2 is it attracts dust. So, you know, it definitely attracts more dust with Bead Maker on the car than it does without Bead Maker on the car. And that means, like, with anything, with nothing on the car, it attracts less dust than having Bead Maker on the car. But the slickness and the feeling that this gives you, I think, is worthwhile. And I wash my cars once a week, so really there isn't much dust collection that's actually happening. And when you drive it down the road, most of the dust comes off anyway. It's not like it's stuck there or anything like that. So the Obsessed Garage drying aid solves both of these problems. It doesn't streak. It doesn't leave spotting. I mean, if you let it dry on the car, it still will spot. You can spray a little bit more on the car and you can wipe it off. But I can do my black car outside with the Obsessed Garage drying aid, and I don't have to worry about streaks the way that I do with Bead Maker. So it is superior to Bead Maker in that regard. I think the slickness feels, I think that it's the same, honestly. The amount of slickness that this has and the amount of slickness that this has, it's really the same. The feeling is the same, and that's primarily why I do it. I like the feeling. I like the slickness, the smoothness, the fact that it makes the car feel incredibly clean. And then the dust, this attracts way less dust than the Bead Maker does. So I would say that the amount of dust that I end up with a week after using OG drying aid is about the same as I have on the car with nothing on it. So I think that it's really good. I'm not using a ton of product. I've probably done, I don't want to say 10 cars, and I'm about halfway through this bottle. This SUV, my, couple cars every week, and I have a fair amount left. I keep the bottle inside the car in general, so like if I have, something happen, fingerprints or something like that, whatever, I can just spray it really quick and wipe it off. It wipes very cleanly, and it works really, really well. So I have a gallon on the way. Once I open that gallon, what I tend to do is when I open a gallon, I order another gallon to replace the gallon that I've opened, so that I always have kind of an unopened gallon on the shelf. That way, no matter what we're dealing with in terms of supply chain and availability of products, I kind of always have some stuff. So I think this is a really good product. It works really, really well. It's the same as B&B Slipstream, and I believe it's also the same as Topper. This one doesn't have any dyes in it. So if you get a bottle of Slipstream or a bottle of Topper, you'll see there's like orange staining in the bottle as the level goes down. And you don't have that with the OG drying aid. So that means that I also don't have that on my paint. So I think that I like this a little bit better because of that. But there's really there's no residue stuck on the inside of the bottle or anything like that. There's no lines or anything. It comes in a 32-ounce Tolko sprayer. The Tolko sprayer works really, really well. It's really close, the Tolko and the Pressall. The Pressalls are good sprayers. They're a lot of money. I've talked about it before, these chemical guy sprayers suck. Like 50% failure rate before the bottle is gone. It depends on the chemicals that are in it. Honestly, these tend to do a little bit better, the spray detailers. But if you're getting into like wheel cleaners, things that are a little bit more aggressive, the sprayers always fail. And the Tolko sprayers really do a good job. I've used them for Bead Maker, I've used them for Brake Buster, I've used them for a variety of other things. They're good sprayers, they work well. So I highly recommend it. It's not more expensive than Bead Maker. I mean, it's on the same level as all of these other products. You can buy it by the gallon. So, if you're dealing with shipping costs or you're worried about that kind of stuff, I'm inside the Hex, or I'm a Hex Plus member, which means that I get free shipping and I get a percentage off all of my orders. So I just, kind of stock up on it and order it when I'm ordering other things. But, I'd recommend that a gallon would probably last me around a year. It seems somewhere in that neighborhood. I've had this for a couple of weeks, and I've gone through about a half a 32-ounce bottle. It's 32 ounces quart. There's 4 quarts in a gallon, so I'm about an eighth of the way through, and probably 6 weeks into it. So seems about right. A gallon will last me about a year. It's not tremendously expensive, so I recommend at least trying it out. Get a 32-ounce bottle, at least try it yourself, experience it yourself. But I think it's better than any of these other products. Now, truthfully, I'm not going to throw my Bead Maker away. I still have a gallon on the shelf. I'm not going to throw it away. I'm just going to use the Bead Maker on other people's cars, on my project vehicles, on my kids' cars, on even the SLC300. But when I'm cleaning my black Mercedes that's behind me, I'm going to use this because it doesn't streak. It doesn't collect as much dust. It looks clean after a week, and this still feels clean, but it just collects some more dust, and it's easier to streak. And that's kind of what I've been doing with the chemical guy stuff. Like this P40 bottle is actually empty, but the VO7 and the afterwash and the Hydro Speed, I've just been kind of using those up on other people's cars, or giving them to my kids, or giving them to other people as I'm showing people how to clean their own cars, or doing something for a friend. And just kind of go through those products. So, thank you for watching. Have a great day. I highly recommend the product. You should experience it for yourself. It's not me being a fanboy of Obsessed Garage. It's legitimately a good product that should be experienced by anybody who likes to wash their own cars and cares about that feeling of slickness on the vehicle.